Hey everyone, Busy Gamer Dad back again. We're going to pick up our run right where we left off. This is Loop here. This is the two of three videos that I had promised. So where we're at right now is we have a bunch of tiles out. We have a mountain. We have an empty treasury. We have a couple vampire mansions out. We have about halfway full on our boss meter. We're just going to do continuing our run. We're going to look to see about getting the right stats we need to fight the end boss. I'm going to swing into, going for the appropriate monster level or enemy level, which is displayed up here in the corner. So you want to try and get your gear as high as you possibly can for that. And that is depicted in the bottom left-hand corner of any of these tile cards for the gear. That being said, you also don't want to try and min-max everything. You want to go for a particular stat that you seem to be getting a lot of that works well. For me in the past, evasion has been really good, but as I've built the evasion, what's wound up happening is I've actually sacrificed damage. So there's risk reward for all of that. We'll let our game run for a little bit. We'll see what we can get from the monsters. Hopefully they're generous to us. Oh, another treasury. That's nice. And some armor. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to drop that treasury right here. And I'm going to put rocks along the bottom. And there's another goblin camp, and I do not want to fight any more goblins, so I'm going to use my Oblivion card to clear that. We'll let this run some more. So this game is great because you can pick it up and put it down without too much. Oh wow, another treasury, a third one. You can pick it up and put it down without too much risk or inconvenience for yourself. So if you have some time to kill, go ahead and pick up this game. It's really fun and it's easy to learn. There's a lot of interaction that ends up happening for the game, for the tiles that synergize with each other. You'll see here that we have blooming meadows versus our regular meadows because we place them adjacent to other cards other than meadows, and that's not listed on the card. So there's that kind of hidden knowledge and experimentation that comes from this game. So that's why I like it a lot. And it's fun to just have a session to sit down, play for about 20, 30 minutes, and then put it back, leave it alone, and go be an adult, be a parent, do what you got to do. So I'm going to make this probably the worst corner I can possibly make this. I'm going to put anything and everything that I get over in this corner. And then I'm hoping I'm going to get some Oblivion cards to clean it up because I don't think it's going to end well for us. Well, while I hope I'm wrong, I have a strong sneaking suspicion that I'm right. That's slightly better. Defense, counter, 2 damage to all. Well, we'll leave it. All right, and we'll put the rocks down there. So the tier gear, if you didn't notice, it goes kind of gray, blue, gold, and then there's like this amber, and that's the highest gear that I've ever seen for the we'll say the superiority level of the gear. We really need to get a new weapon, something that's going to offset the problems that we're going to inevitably have going forward. A cemetery. We have to place that on the grounds. So let's place that over here. There's a harpy. Getting some vampirism wouldn't be terrible, because we got quite a bit of health. So I'm actually going to hold on to a couple of these cards because I don't want to play them and have to fight more. That's also what you can do. You can hold on to the cards down here in the bottom, and they actually also turn into a resource that you use for your meta progression for your game. So you do not have to place everything. Only place what you feel you need to. Um, the last thing that you'll see just flew out onto the map right here. This thing is not a gargoyle. It actually flew from the empty treasury. You'll see that here in a moment. Oh dear, we're dodging. They're dip dive dodging. Oh, another treasury, another beacon. What if I put the beacon here? Or maybe here. I don't know if the beacon stacks. I don't want to. Let's put the beacon there and let's see if it stacks. We'll put another treasury right here, and then we'll put a rock there. And then we'll put a rock here. Yeah, I think we might be done after this run. We'll probably end our run, and we'll come back out and try again. Okay. Yeah, I think we're gonna run. Gonna end our run right here, and we'll go back and we'll retreat. We'll be able to actually keep everything that we have in our inventory up here in our satchel. So we'll retreat this time, and then from here we actually get a little cutscene. I can't believe it. Hey, everybody! The boy managed to return. Survivors? Does this mean I'm not alone anymore? Where did you come from? Is there a place without darkness? We don't know where we came from. That or we can't remember. These few people are all that's left of our group, I think. You're not sure? We're not sure. We reached the conclusion based on the abandoned luggage and leftover daily rations. Each day we see the signs of other people's presence around us, but as far as we know, they don't exist or never did. It's like we forgot them. Forgot them? Exactly. It's as if people are disappearing every day and we instantly forget they existed, just like we forgot where we came from and our families, maybe even ourselves. My name is Yota. That I still remember. Everyone else remembers memories are not much better. That's why I remember so little about myself. Everything is forgotten. But wait, you said I managed to return. That means you remember I was here? Yes, that's why it's so important to us. We saw you leave, but you were gone before we could approach you. Listen, we can't keep wandering in you can't yeah, we can't keep wandering in this emptiness anymore. There's a campfire here and enough space for a few sleeping bags. A real luxury in these dark times, wouldn't you say? Of course, you can say. I'd be very grateful if we could team up. I want to put everything right. I'm only beginning to remember the world as it was before. But there's no point to it without other people. It's too lonely without them. Remember the world. I don't get what you're talking about. I'm too exhausted. But we'll be if you could help us, and we'll be glad to help you. Just don't ask us to follow you out there. I don't know how you manage to return, but for us leaving the group, it's too dangerous. I will ask no such thing of you. For now, I just want to have a place to return to, a place where I can hear other people's voices. We weren't joking about helping you. Here are a few things that survive the cataclysm and don't vanish. Don't become forgotten. Take it. You might need it. So she's given us some resources. And now we can actually go into the build phase here. And we can build a bunch of new things. So the campfire has healing power, the potion, well, we get potions. Okay, potions, 4% health. We can take up to 3 potions with you. 2 potions are refilled at the swamp and at the campsite. And then we don't have enough for that, unfortunately. We don't have enough for the smithy. Yep, okay, so this is the one that provides the basic equipment when we start our run. All right, so now I'm gonna pop this down probably right here, we'll say. And then, oh, good, we get another character. Do you know what the difference between a good cook and a bad cook? The food by a good cook is tastier. What? You were waiting for something more elaborate? Sometimes the truth is very simple. That's a dad joke. There's your dad joke for this episode. Look, I have a cauldron, a hearth, a couple of knives, a bucket of potatoes, these 3 onions, and some ham. Nothing special. Everything is very simple. But give me a few minutes and everyone in this camp will be running to my table following the smell of tasty good stew. Nice. And then I believe we can upgrade. Yep, we can upgrade the buildings if we had the resources, but it doesn't look like we can at this point, which is basically the core mechanic of this game, where you unlock the huts or the healer's hut, the smithy, you upgrade them, get further things, rinse, repeat. And that's why I like this game as a busy dad, because it allows me the opportunity to uh, basically bookmark my progression in a good way. What was I doing? Where was I going? Oh, I'm doing this next, doing that next. So because we have this utility here for us, we can actually come back, we can actually get more healing power now, and we can have a measured gain for like, okay, I need to upgrade this building, so I'm going to go for this resources to do that. And then when our run is at that threshold, then we no longer need to be out there and we can just put a bookmark in it, end our expedition, no matter how good or bad we're going to do, and then we can actually come back, do the upgrade, and call it quits for the day, and go about doing our adulting tasks. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to show you guys the card mechanic that we unlocked because we did that as well. So oftentimes when we unlock those buildings, we get other cards to add to our deck. In that case, we got the Blood Grove, a living forest that preys on wounded occupants of the tiles around it. May spawn something dreadful from their remains. So there's that ever-present risk-reward mechanic in laying out the cards and choosing your deck um, for your runs, because you want to make sure that you're including the right cards, but you're not overdoing it or underdoing it. And we have a threshold. We're only allowed a maximum of 12 in this case, and a minimum of 7. And we can toggle these, and we have another criteria here where we're only allowed to have up to 5 cards in our deck from this category of cards, and only 2 from this category. 2 from this category, and a total of 3, but a minimum of 1 from here. So we could actually remove the treasury card if we wanted to, or remove the beacon card and still leave the oblivion card. So that's the also way to focus your runs to get the reagents and resources that you need, and just do the run you need to get the gear or equipment or reagents or materials that you need to upgrade your camp, and then call it good. Or if you're trying to experiment, you can focus on picking out just a few cards and working through those cards and how they interact with the other cards around them. So that was kind of a bit of a rundown on the camp mechanics and how those work. Now, for this remaining 10-20 minutes, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to focus myself on um, this next run to include, we'll not do the lantern, we'll have the beacon because that helps us move, and then why don't we include the blood grove just to have it, because I believe that synergizes or plays off of the battlefield. And then we're going to jump ourselves right back into the next run. And it's just that easy. You can just click and try. We'll let this play out. It's very easy in the beginning of the game to just let your cards accumulate and then plan on how you want to lay them out. You don't have to play them out until you get to the point or the hand size limit that's going to lose you cards. And I usually like to try and do that on my first run, is to allow my cards to fill up my first run or two. That way I know what I'm planning or going to build for. All right, so we're going to do the auto battler around this. I've got a battlefield. That's good to know. Battlefield, yep. Spawns a chest. I believe, yeah, the battlefield and the blood grove can spawn off of each other really well. And look at that. In our first loop, we almost have everything. We just need to get a shield. There's their shield. Perfect. That's awesome. That works out really well. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start laying out cards. I don't want to pause it because I want to keep us as fluid as possible. I'm going to actually try and do this. Equal, equal. Oh, no, this is better. Even though it's level 1 axe, it's the same tile. So that's another thing you want to make sure you're doing, is you want to check your gear to make sure that you're always equipping the best things for your run. Again, maxing certain things is up to you and your, we'll say, playstyle and your interests, but don't be afraid to experiment in this game. And if it's giving you evasion, build evasion, as annoying as that might be. Definitely want to put that on. We'll leave the rest off. Is this any better? No, that's more armor. Even though 3 more armor, but we lose the counter, I'm not going to do it. That's there. Okay, so let's do this, and then I'm going to lay the I'm going to lay the battlefield down. Right here. I'll lay the battlefield right here. And then we'll do the there. Okay. Okay. Now we're gonna lay out some mountains and rocks, and we're gonna build up our space here. Level 2 ring, what is that? Regeneration. Perfect. We'll just put that right there. And the best thing about this is it's a set it and forget it kind of game as well, where you could, in theory, just leave your guy running the map and you don't have to worry about interacting in any way. All right, chest. That gave us a level 3 ring. We're definitely going to want to put that on. That's a lot of armor. So we're almost to the camp right now. I'm going to pause and do the planning phase. I'm going to put down a couple more things here. I wonder... Nope, there's no interaction there. Okay. Nope, no interaction there, unfortunately. We'll do the vampire mansion. Sure, we'll do the vampire mansion there. We'll do the cemetery. And then we'll do... There. Awesome. All right. So now that we have our mountain out here, I'm going to build another, we'll say mountain over here, but it won't turn into a mountain. The mountains are kind of one-off. Once you have that card, we'll say proc, it doesn't change. Just make this a spider row, as silly as it is. That's quite a bit more health, so we'll do that one. Now, oh, that's going to be a tough tile over here. This right here is going to be a very tough fight. We'll see what happens. We need a new shield. We need a new weapon desperately. Oh, there we go. That one's 11 to 17, 11 to 17. We'll do that. This is slightly more. Okay. You'll notice that we actually didn't have an interaction with our harpy or the goblins. Bam. Awesome. Level 4 spear. That's awesome. Good stuff. Level 4 ring with only 2 stats. Counter defense. No. I'm going to hold off. We definitely need a new shield, though. A ghost. Yep, this is what happens when you place the graveyard near there. We might actually lose here, which would be great to show you that mechanic. Oh, there's our new shield. Yep, here we go. This will be it. I think we'll lose this one. And so we have a fair bit of stuff here, but we're actually only going to be able to keep a short amount, a little bit of it. So because we lost everything over here, and we'll keep all this stuff, which kind of sucks, but at least we get something for our time spent with the game. And so now you get to see this mechanic. I'm alive, but how? Thanks to us, a small group of us dragged you back here. It wasn't easy. How did you fight off all those monsters? They nearly killed me. That's also interesting. Many of them were vanished right before our eyes. Some we managed to avoid, but I think most of the monsters were gone before we left the camp. I think your trips are deeply connected to your memories, my friend. It all fades away as soon as you space out for long enough. So, I don't think we have enough to build anything at this point. No, we need to get some more meat. And the meat comes from the food supplies, or the rations. The rations, I don't know what triggers those. So we have to be on the lookout, because these two, if we get one more ration, and we know where the scrap metal comes from. That's from not using any gear, or using only a little bit of the gear. So we definitely need to get a lot of metal, it looks like, because everything's kind of dependent on the metal. But if we can get the metal, that will really help get us, and the rations, that will really help us get the smithy and the herbalist. Okay, so we'll go right back out on another expedition, and that's it. That's the loop of the game. We'll get rid of the Blood Rove, and we'll leave just these cards for now. Just actually, you know what? Let's get rid of the spider. Let's do the battlefield and the vampire mansion. Nice. Okay, and then we'll be off and running. And now you'll see the loop is again a different loop. Excuse me. 2 shields, because we need them. We can shield bash. We'll drop the beacon. This is actually a really good map for the trail for the beacon, because if we put it right here or right here, I think I want to put it 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. We'll put it right there because that's probably the biggest net gain. And then we'll start doing our mountain. Where can we do our mountain? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's do our mountain over here. And we'll surround it with meadow. Yep, because then the meadow should bloom. Let's put our cemetery there. We definitely need a weapon. We need spawns. This is the Blood Grove. There. Good, we got a weapon. We'll put another meadow here. So you'll notice that right here I haven't put anything yet. It's because if we put anything here, it's not going to do what you expect it to do. It's not going. When I say that, I was hoping to put a meadow there, but it won't change it into a blooming meadow. So I'm going to hold off and put a rock there just because that's probably going to be easier for us to do that. Equal, okay. Oh, there's our first ring, so it's already going to be a net positive, whatever it is, evasion. You'll start to see as you play the game a little bit more, certain ring symbols equate to certain types of rings. Like this band, I've always seen as the evasion ring. This type of armor, more high HP or something like that. So keep that in mind when you get certain drops. It's all about that visual recognition. But you also don't have to worry about that because it's all randomized, the hit points, the various other stats, and things like that. So the goal this time around is we're going to try and get to the end boss, and that means that we got to increases the monster's attack speed and 25% enemies. Okay, good to know. Well, that's a nice shield, pure damage. Okay, so then here and here. Okay, we got our first Oblivion card, and then this is a meadow. We'll put that right there. Do we get a ration? Is that what that's doing? Metamorphosis. We are getting rations from the blooming meadows. Good to know. So that's how we get the rations. So we got to make the meadows bloom. I believe we're getting rations from the meadows. Let's see. Yeah, we are. So that's how we get them. Okay. Attack speed. This one's better, but it doesn't have counter. No. Okay, so we'll leave those alone. So good to know. And then this, more armor, or more HP. 8 to 12, not that much of a big increase, so we'll leave that one. Oh, that's not what I want. I want you, because we need these out so that we can get our smithy. That's our goal this run, getting the smithy. So along this side, I'm going to try and do, oh, level 3. Perfect. Level 4. Well, we just one-shot that ghost. Let's see, is this any better? This is definitely better. Yeah, we'll put that guy on. We're going to pause the game real quick because we're starting to get ahead of ourselves. I'm going to want to put the battlefield down here. And then what did that do? So that turned into bloody terrain. Oh, interesting. Good to know. I didn't know it did that. All right, and now I can't place anything there. So, oh, we have to be careful. All right, let's get the beacon down there. Let's get the grove down there. All right. You have vampirism, rage. Okay, interesting. Oop, level 5 ring. That's going to be huge. Doesn't. All right, then that's a level 3 armor. All right, and then we have another meadow. So we'll put that there. We have another beacon. We can put that one there, and this beacon over here. And then a mountain there. Or I should have put it there. Level 4 shield. Well, that's a lot of defense. All right, we'll do it. That's a tough call. A lot more just damage. But we lose our counter and our damage, our pure damage. I think I'm going to hold off. Evasion and counter. I like the ring that we have, so I'm going to hold on to that. Yeah, you'll notice when we're playing through that we're working through this, that we want to make sure that we're doing the right moves at the right times. Now, this is going to be 523. Yeah, I'm going to leave it alone again. I may come to regret that, but we'll see. I'm going to spread the monsters out so that we're not in just a pocket of tarnation and death. Well, that's creepy looking blood clots. It's okay, we're working our way to our camp right now. Okay, 1420. That damage to all is really nice to have. So hopefully we get something from these chests. Okay. A little bit less defense, but we get the evasion and vampirism. I think we're gonna... What is this one? Regen, just flat regen. I think we're gonna do this. Lose 30 health or so. A percent to counter. We get... I think I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do that. And we'll put the vampire mansion over here. We'll put a meadow right over here. Okay. And we're about halfway through our boss meter. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to call this video right here. I'm going to go to a planning phase and do my outro. So again, this is Loop here. This is the second time where I'm putting this up so you guys can see it. The loop changes every single time we play the game. It's a great game to pick up and put down. The loops are really dynamic. Every time you go in, you can pick the cards you want to go and focus on, trying to see what synergizes what. The gear that drops is also very random. You have to make it out with your resources here. If you die, you lose a large percentage of them, but I believe there's meta build stuff that ends up happening later on that allows you to retain more if you do die, or even retain it all if you happen to die. There's like a resource that gives you like a mulligan essentially. Our goal this next playthrough is we're going to try and fill up this boss meter and show you guys what the first end loop boss is for this scenario, Act 1. So thanks very much for stopping by, everybody. Again, this was Busy Gamer Dad. This is Loop Hero. It's currently available on Steam. I believe it's under 20 bucks right now because it's been out for a while. Very easy pickup for anyone who just wants to sit down and veg for about 20-30 minutes and have the opportunity to put a pin in a game and not feel like they're losing anything. And the mechanics are very easy to just play and enjoy in small sound bites that allow people with busy lives to play and relax and not feel like they have to invest hundreds of hours to progress. Again, thanks very much for stopping by. Talk to you later. Bye.